Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with a little bit of a play today. I've been seeing on the internet, on YouTube for quite a few months now, and I think I saw it last year as well, where people cover their gel plate or the gel press in a thin coat of paint, and then they'll press daisies or gerbras or other daisy-like flowers into the paint to lift the paint away to leave an impression. We know I've done it with leaves, and I've known many others do it with leaves and foliage. However, it's autumn here, it's fall. I mean, the trees are turning, and I'm looking around my garden going, ooh, what have I got left? And the last thing I've got is this. It's the very last bloom on my hydrangea. All of the others have gone past their best and they're dying off. And I was thinking, I wonder whether I could use this to actually create an impression on a gel plate to be able to pull a print. Now, before I even start managing my own personal expectations, I know I'm not going to get all of this in there, but I might get a nice lacy feel. I'm going to be working on a 5x7. I've got actually 3 5x7s here because I'm lucky enough to have them. I could cut out one of the little clumps and do smaller, but I think, you know what, I just want to see whether the experiment works. So I've got 3 5x7s. I've also got 2 little leaves that I cut off the same geranium. I just want to see whether it works and maybe create, let's see, 6x4 postcard size pieces, which could then be put onto the front of a 5x7 greetings card if I chose, or they could be used as a journal card in a journal for botanicals. So what have I got here? Right, I've got a 3x5 with a hair of some sort on it, a 355 gel plate here, purely because I like to use that as a palette. I've got my 4-inch speedball brayer. Up to you what you use. Let's take that bit of gunk off there because I know that's probably going to get stuck somewhere. Sorry guys, technical issue. I need to get that bit of paint out of there before it causes me an issue. Now I could of course have taken the roller off, but guess what? I'm having a lazy day. Right, I plan on making 3. So I've got some, this is not heavy duty cardstock, it's just cardstock. Those are already 6x4s, which are probably not going to be used today. These I want to say are, let's see, probably about 5x7. No, they can't be 5x7. They're 6x8. That's because I fully intend, once I printed them, to trim them down to the appropriate size. It's always easier working with a bigger piece than a piece that's exactly the same size as the gel press, because you're then trying to pick off the corners. Here at least I've got something to hold. So let's have a go. Right, my plates look dirty. They're not dirty, they're stained. Like this one is so many years old I can't remember. This one is getting up there. And this one is about a year old, but I very rarely use this because I'm sort of saving this for when the others come time to say goodbye to this mortal world. So I'm thinking of using almost a flat coloured acrylic paint first, and then picking them up with a metallic or a pearl. So I think in true form, I think we should start with like a pink type of colour. So let's go for purple, plum purple. And I'm just going to put a little bit on here. I don't want a huge amount. I have to keep repeating that for me, not for you, because I'm used to using a 12x12 and I have a habit of putting too much paint on things. Oh, and I've got one of my textbooks by the side of me where I can just clean my brayer off as and when I need to, because then these make backgrounds eventually. Right, stay open here. Right. So just giving my plate a thinnish coat. I want there to be paint on here, but I don't want it to be so much paint that it squishes around on me. So let's just leave that. I can deal with that in a minute. So I know these are huge flowers, so I'm not going to be able to get dainty little things, and I'm okay. So I'm just going to push it down and nestle it in. Yeah, see, that's what I was hoping it would do. And if I do another one down here, and then I've got the leaves, And I'm not pressing the whole leaf in, I'm only pressing parts of the leaf that would potentially be seen. Let's put another one down there. Right, I'm not sure we're going to see much because this is a dirty plate, but there you go. That almost looks like a negative photograph, which I'm excited about. So that's the first one done. Let's get this braid out on here. Actually, just stamp it out on here. Yeah, I was going to do this with daisies and gerberas, as I said, the way I'd seen others do it. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and use what's in my garden to see whether I've got anything that can do the job equally as well. And obviously, I have. And I hadn't seen people do this with hydrangeas. So, and that was another driving thing. I went, oh, I wonder whether you can. The good old scientific mind kicked in and went, I wonder whether I can do it with another type of flower. So, right, so we've done the first one. Let's come in. So what are the colours? It would normally be purple, pink, blues. I've seen them in whites and yellows and greens. So let's go for some blue. Right, what's this? This is grey blue. This is sky blue. This is a new colour to me. My friend Paula Keane was using this the other day and I absolutely loved it. So Sky Blue by Amsterdam. As I said, brand new, not even contaminated by yours truly. So again, let's braid this out. Now, the other thing I need to be conscious of too is every time I press the flowers down, it's probably going to transfer a bit of the paint from the colour before. And that's the reason why I'm sort of going from lighter to darker. Because not if I remember correctly, I do remember correctly, hydrangeas tend to vary in their colours, even within the same bloom. I mean, this was pink. I mean, I've picked up the blue on there. So let's just come in here and press it a little bit larger. Oh, I am liking that. It's just giving me a random pattern. I suppose I could press this onto something else and it would transfer it over, but I'm not sure. So I'm not going to do it just yet. A little bit of more of that leaf. So as I said, I'm just playing with an idea. If someone has done this before with hydrangeas, then I put credit to them, but I personally haven't seen any, so that's why. Right, again, no, it's going to have to, you have to wait until this one's picked up because obviously we've got a reasonably dirty plate. So I just want to do an experiment on this. I'm going to pick this up. I don't know whether the paint is going to be dry enough. Oh yeah, it is. So I could pick up and print. And these are quite robust, these heads of geraniums. I'm a bit sad to be destroying my last geranium head, but you know what? I know next year I'll probably have 20 or 30 of them to play with, so I've no problem with that at all. Not really. I'm just sad to see the last colour going out of my garden. I've got a climbing rose that's beginning to go over, but it's a very driven climbing rose, let's say. It tends to put out lots and lots and lots of blooms, so that's quite nice. Let's just give this a little bit of a quick wipe. So we've got sort of purpley, we've got blue. Now if I use the purple one, I will pick it up with pink. If I use the pale blue, I'll have to pick it up with a darker colour. Maybe a darker blue, I'm unsure. I don't know whether I've got a metallic that's darker blue. Why don't we do a green one? That wouldn't be my first choice, but I think a green one would be quite interesting. Let's pull out a colour. Right, I've got pale olive green here. Again, not a lot of paint, don't need a lot of paint. Now I know this is a very yellowy green, and I'm actually quite liking this green. So whatever can go behind this because this is a transparent, it will actually enhance the green. So let's just do some of these on here. So what does that look like? Okay, that does need leaves, right. Let's put leaves in there. Okay, that's interesting. Right, now I'm wondering whether... No, actually, I think we're pretty much done with that. I don't want this to be a huge long video. I mean, it's an experiment at the end of the day. So let's just open this. Let's put another one of these in. What I did is I got a couple of textbooks that were actually on sale in my thrift store, my charity store. They were 2 for £1, which is 50p each as far as my meagre mathematical skills go. And what I've done is, because they were quite bulky, I took the cover off them, or took the text block out of the middle of it, and then I basically just ripped it into a half. And so I've got 3 of them on the go, because the other book was a bit smaller. So just a great way of making papers. I will be doing a video at some point where either I do a masterboard or I do something with them. Right, I've got this on here. I'm going to put this to one side. And when I finish filming, I'm going to actually continue with this. I do want to try something though. Right, this is just a 4x6 postcard. Okay, so if this was a pre-painted background, this would translate these shapes onto it. And I like the fact they're really random light textures. Okay, that's an interesting thing. No, and these are quite robust. I'm surprised how much I can pull this apart. Now, as I said, if I wanted to, I could take one of these like cauliflower heads off, and I could have used just that section to make it smaller. Let's put that to one side. Let's take that out. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I just wanted to see what it looks like. So I'm not sure that these are going to be dry yet. So what I'm going to do, well, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that little bit of debris that's stuck to my plate. Who knows what that was. Right, I think I'm going to pause the video for 2 seconds for you. It'll be a couple of minutes for me. And I'm just going to put a cool hairdryer over these because I need them to be fully dried before I try and pull them off with another colour. So they're all nice and dry, and I'm going to work in the order in which I created them in. Now, I did say I'm going to use like a pearl or something. I'm not sure how much the pearl is going to shine through. So let's look for a pink first of all. Right, what's this? Shuttle Art Pink. Shuttle Art Pink, there you go. So I know that this has the effect of a metallic or a pearlized paint. I'm just going to bring in one of my books again just so that I can rear off onto it. Now, because it's a pull layer, I don't want to have too much paint on it. And I just want to make sure my paper is ready to go on my card. Now, the reason I left it to dry fully is because if it's even in the slightest bit wet, it could potentially pull up as I'm brayering on the next layer. And I also had to be really careful. Metallics dry incredibly quickly here. So I get that down and give it a good press around the edges. Now I'm going to use, this is called a Baron. This was a handmade Baron by Anthony Cody and Cody Woodcrafts on American Etsy. It was a present to me from me one Christmas, I believe it was. And basically the use of it is, It's quite a heavy piece of wood in that I don't have to press down with my hand. I also find the more I rub my hand on paper, I do get little patches of dried skin then and little bits of eczema because my body is prone to do that. Whereas this will print it flat, press it down flat with very little weight from me. So I'm not sure whether we're going to see much by turning it over. A little bit. I'm interested to see what that looks like. Let's put that up there to fully dry. Have to wait for it to fully dry, but it won't take long to fully dry. Okay, now I'm going on with the blue one. Now I did say I wanted to keep with metallics, and I need to see whether I've got a metallic or a shuttle art that's going to really pick this up, which I think I've got ocean blue. Now it's not hydrangea blue, but then to be honest, I wouldn't even know how to make hydrangea blue. So we're going to stick with this color blue, which is quite a virulent blue, but a pleasant one all the same. Let's get another bit of book ready, because I know that I'm going to need to have a new page to be rolling out on. So right, here we go, guys. Where's my piece of paper or my piece of card? Oh, that's a pretty colour, isn't it? Now, what I'm hoping is that the darkness doesn't eliminate the lightness, but the paint I put on first of all was an opaque paint. So therefore, you should only see this blue through the areas that have got thinner layers. So I'm going to immediately get that down, because blue is another colour for me that dries really quickly, and also because it's a shimmer or a luster or a pearl, I'm going to treat it as if it was a metallic, and I've already said metallics dry really quickly for me. Just clean up these plates over here. Right. I'm excited this is working. I'm hoping the end results are equal to what I think they should be. Now, after these are printed, of course, I could come in and I could I could stamp over the top. I'm not going to do that with these. I'm just, for the purposes of this video, this is all I'm going to do with them. Yeah, we can't see diddly squat through there. And that's because it's a very stained gel press. Gel press, if you ever send me a new 5x7, I don't mind receiving a 5x7. Well, I don't mind receiving any gel press, to be honest with you, because I love the product. And I think I've got 11 or 12 gel plates, and I believe every single one of them is a gel press. So there you go. Let's put that up there. Now, this one is the one I'm deliberating about because it's yellow and it's very transparent. So what would I pick this up with? Now, I could go with the subtleties of maybe going with cream or something like that. So I'm just cleaning my brayer while I'm talking. I could go with cream, or I could go with white. I could go with gold. With gold? No, I think gold might overpower it. I need something really quite pale, but I need it far enough away from this colour so I can still see that colour. So I've got pearl white. I wonder whether I've got anything like a cream colour. I've got a champagne gold. I don't know how. Let's go with this. As I said, experiment time, so I don't know. Again, this is shuttle art. This is champagne gold. I don't know how strong a colour this is when it's rolled out. If it looks ultra thin, what I might do is I might put this on, leave this one sit, and then put a white over the back of it. Why would I do that? Because paper's already white. I just realised this is white. So, not that I just realised, I just remembered. Right. Again, I'm looking for a bit of shimmer. That's what I'm looking for in these. I fancy that they will really come alive if they've got that layer on them. Right. Put my paper down. Another thing you'll see me doing is I'm pressing directly down with my hand to start with, because some of these paints are quite creamy in consistency, and if you immediately do that, you'll find your paper will slip around. But if you leave it for a second or two just to sit there, And I'm letting the weight of the brayer press it down. I'm not hammering down on it at this point because, again, I don't want to smudge or smear or move the image. Right, let's just clean up this gold. It's very, very transparent, isn't it? It's a beautiful colour gold, though. It's a very creamy paint, though. I can feel that just from the gel plate alone. Right. So we've got our 3 pieces, so I'm clacking it. Okay, I think I will be able to see stuff. That could be beautiful. So we now need to wait for those to dry. So in fairness to this experiment, I am literally going to turn the camera off for 2 seconds. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break and then I'll come back. And I'm back. So these have about 10 minutes sat here. I think they should be dry enough. So let's just move those over to one side, move that one over to one side, out of my way. And let's see how we did. So they should be dry, as I said. Normally, if I wanted everything picked up, I would leave it overnight, but it might be a bit boring if you waited for 24 hours. So let's do this now. So, oh, it is going to pick up. All right, just work my way around the front edge or the bottom edge. Remember, I am going to cut these down to the correct size. Whether I cut them down to 6x4 or cut them down to 5x7, I do not know. Oh, that's sticky plate. Okay, that's interesting. I'm liking that. Let's just, sorry, roll this so it's not as curly. I don't mind that. That's a very interesting background. Can you imagine if you stamped, say, a butterfly, a dragonfly, a ladybird, a spider or something in black, and you did it in enamel, like embossing powders or something? Okay, liking that. I've got some other ideas for that sort of stuff. Right, which one's this? This is the mystery one, the one I can't even remember what colour. I think this is a blue one. Right, let's just pull that off there. I'm really hoping this one's nice and vibrant blue. Okay, it's in there. Okay, it's not as dominant as this one. But then I think if I'd have done the darker blue first and done the lighter blue second, it would have been better. That's a me problem. I haven't got a hydrangea stamp. I know. Why don't I design a hydrangea stamp? Let's see if I can see whether this afternoon I can draw up a hydrangea stamp and get it out to PM Artist Studio. See if they can get it to me, or see if my drawing can be made into a hydrangea foam stamp. Watch out for the future, because what I'll do is I will, once I've trimmed these down, I will put these to one side, and then if I am able to design a hydrangea stamp, I will actually then do a follow-up video to this. So if you look in the description box below, it'll probably take a couple of weeks for the design to be authorized and cut, and for me to actually have one. Maybe about a month's time. If I've managed to do it, look in the description box. I will do a follow-up video on these very prints. There you go. That's given me another thing to design. Right, now this one I've been a little apprehensive about all the way along because I didn't want the yellow to disappear into the gold. But to be honest with you, the purple and pink one has already made my day anyway. Okay, again, that's nice. So just flattening it out a bit. That's nice. It needs something, but I don't mind this. Almost looks like one of those old sepia photographs, but obviously not in sepia colours. Right, let's just chop these down. Bear with me. So whenever I do something like this, I know that my 5x7, in fact, all of my gel plates, all my gel presses, because they've been used and used and used, they tend to distort a little, and then maybe I don't put it flat onto the acrylic plate or plexiglass plate I'm working on. So I've always got to trim a little bit off. So what I do as part of my process is I come in and I line up one of the edges as close to straight as I can. And then I use that flat edge up against the top, which then should give me a 90-degree cut on all of the others. And at this point, I'm not measuring, I'm literally, because I don't know what I'm going to use these for. So I'm going to leave them at this size, purely because, as I said, I might make them into greetings cards, I might make them into postcards, they might end up as journal cards, but I won't know that, or I won't make that decision until I've done the next stage. And the next stage, as I said, if I can get a hydrangea bloom drawn, it's not the easiest thing to draw, then I don't know, I've got ideas, guys. I've got ideas. Thank you. This is inspiring me to inspire you and to inspire me in return. So yeah, and then I'll decide whether these are journal cards, whether they're journal toppers, whether these are the fronts of greetings cards. I don't know. It's a mystery, as Toya Wilcox used to say. It's a mystery, it's a mystery. I haven't got the lisps, sorry Toya. Okay, so out of these three, this is my obvious favourite, and the reason is I can see it. I have learnt that the darker colour first, picked up with the lighter colour, gives me the best results. This is the best example of me doing it wrong, in that if I'd have reversed those colours, it would have looked like that. So I'm not upset, because that I might redo this one. I mean, I've still got the flower here, I've still got the paints, everything's out. I might redo this one when I turn the camera off. So if I do a follow-up, you may see this in another version. And this I'm actually not upset by. I quite like the abstractness of that. So you'll know in the thumbnail whether I managed to do the other version of this, because you'll see it in the thumbnail. Okay, guys, I think that's it. That was a good experiment, a good play. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.